Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for March 5th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
What do you got?
Seems like a lighter week this week. We've had a couple
too.
of bigger weeks, so slowed us down here in the first week of March. I'm going to lead off with Swamp Thing, number 29. This is continuing this story by Charles Soule. I think this has been a great take on Swamp Thing. I really like what he's doing. He's now basically the kind of the council, that was a part of the Green. He sort of released them. They're all human now. And some of them aren't too happy about it. Some of them are kind of curious how it's going to work. And so he kind of comes back, and I believe there's sort of another group that was trying to find them as well. There's a couple of odd things going on here, but he's weaving these stories together all so very well. I like how he accepts the story of the Green, the landscape that he was given. Mm-hmm. He worked within it for a little while. He created some kind of little bit of some challenges and then turned it into what he wanted. And it's a really, really cool story. I'm loving this Swamp Thing right now. One of the few books in the New 52 that I am still reading and really liking.
Cool.
Next up, we're going to stick on the soul train here. Stick with our Funk Soul brother, Charles Soule. We got She-Hulk number 2. I'm curious to see what this issue is going to turn into here. The first one was really nice setup with Jennifer Walters. I like the idea of talking about what it is and what she does as a lawyer, as an attorney. Her previous firm fires her because she wasn't bringing in enough superhero clients. So she then finds herself taking on sort of pro bono work for a woman whose patent was stolen by Stark Industries. Well, I can handle this, no problem. She goes to Tony to try and get it taken care of and then ends up in this down swirl of just having to deal with legal. It ended up being a really, really cool story written by a practicing lawyer. Really cool stuff. So now I'm the way he weaves a tale, I'm sure he's going to start building up his little universe and what he's doing with it. And I'm curious to see where that's going because that first issue was so fun. Next I've got, I always want to give Moon Knight a try. I don't really understand Moon Knight. Is he like an all-white wearing Batman? Is he, he's kind of crazy too. I don't really know.
That depends on which Moon Knight you're getting.
That's just it. There's so many different ways of looking at it. This is Warren Ellis. This is Moon Knight wearing a suit. Got a very different sort of take on it. He almost looks pulpy in this, like a kind of a pulpy take on Moon Knight with a little mask and a suit and looking sort of more like a man of adventure than a superhero. But I want to check it out. This is we got Warren Ellis and Declan Shelvey doing the art there. I don't know. New Moon Knight, all new Marvel now. There's nothing new with then. It's all now. Looking interesting. Willing to try it. Next up, Magneto number 1 by I believe this is Cullen Bunn. He was doing Sixth Gun, and I think he's done some Marvel stuff there. This is I don't know if they're going to go back and kind of tell the origin of Magneto again. Is that what we're doing? The cover certainly looked interesting, exploring the the concentration camp aspect. It looks like his mask is done up as barbed wire. I don't really know what take they're going to give us on Magneto here, but sort of interesting that Magneto has his own book. Mm-hmm. And I think Cullen Bunn is an interesting writer who does some nice character stuff. See what they can do with that. Cool. Now I've got Loki, Agent of Asgard. This is issue 2. I really enjoyed the first issue. I thought it was kind of fun, the idea that he's kind of on these little missions and trying to take care of some things. It's young Loki. It's young hot Loki for all the young ladies out there. And something for the young dudes to think is cool, like the young kids could check this out. But I find myself liking it too. It's just a different sort of take on Loki. I want to see, essentially where they're going with it and what they're up to. It's just fun storytelling. It's Loki. I don't know. They're having who thought Loki would be like everybody's favorite?
Kidding.
He used to be such a jerk before, and he was kind of not good looking.
All it takes is one hit movie.
And there you go. Next, I've got The Saviors. This is issue number 3 by James Robinson and J-Bone. This was sort of Cheech and Chong's They Live kind of deal, where he's on the run. There's aliens, these reptoid aliens, kind of after him. And our main character seems to smoke a lot of weed. I am an issue behind. I didn't get a chance to read the second one yet, so I'm not really sure where we're headed, but it looks like it's kind of taking a different turn. They're on the run, but I don't really see any lizards here. The art looks really great. Really fun, cartoony sort of stuff. I like the kind of 2-3 color thing they're playing with. Kind of neat. I like it. A different sort of thing for James Robinson. Then I've got Afterlife with Archie. This is issue number 4. I think we're a couple months late on this one, but we were, the last I recall, we were at what was it, Veronica's house with her dad there. Someone has been bit. There's someone in the house who's been bit, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. This book has just been great. I like the idea that the zombie apocalypse has hit Riverdale and the way the kids are dealing with it. You know, we've got Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, who's got some experience with zombies. He's written the Marvel zombie stuff. He's not, yes, he's doing zombies, but it feels like a Saturday matinee kind of zombies. It feels very much like Riverdale. It feels very much like the Archie characters. He's included Cheryl Blossom and some of those other characters that were offshoots in the universe. This is a great book, a fun book that a little gimmicky when you think like, oh, all right, zombies, Archie. It's better than that. It's a good book. It's a well-written comic book with some great art. I really like the artwork by Francesco Francavilla. I don't know. Pick them up. Pick up that Afterlife with Archie. It's good stuff. All right, what are you looking at?
I'm going to start off with Action Comics number 29. This is continuing the storyline from Greg Pak and Aaron Kuder. Superman has encountered this underworld civilization, and last issue there was some hubbub.
Okay.
They fought some creatures down there. They came to an understanding, and then they fought some more. And Superman winds up saving these little, cute, adorable little creatures that this underworld civilization was sapping their life force to use as power. So Superman, of course, stops this because that's a horrible thing to do. He rescues them, brings them up to the surface world, and then they turn into monsters and start destroying things. So this has actually been a very clever story where continuously characters will look at something scary looking and assume that it's horrible and treat it as such, and then find out they were wrong, and then they see cute little adorable cute kitten looking things and think, oh, they're wonderful creatures, but it turns out that they're destructive monsters. So I really like how he's been playing with this. Everybody keeps letting their own sort of prejudices screw up the situation because how could some cute little adorable thing with huge eyes and big ears, how could that be dangerous? Well, because when it comes into contact with the surface world, it turns into a giant monster. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff, Superman and monsters and people playing with their expectations. Greg Pak has done a really good job on this book. This is kind of the Superman book that I've wanted to see all along, which is not any kind of a special take on Superman. It's just Superman and some old-fashioned, interesting kind of sci-fi fantasy adventure stories.
Okay.
Next up, we've got Forever Evil number 6. This is Nightwing's Last Stand. I don't know exactly what that last stand means, but apparently they've revealed his identity, Nightwing's identity, everybody. It looks like we've still got Sinestro and Luthor and some of the other villains all taking on the crime syndicate and the rogues as well. And we finally do get the revelation of the person who they've had kind of tagged. The crime syndicate brought someone with them that they were terrified of.
Okay.
And they finally reveal who that character is. I thought it was pretty obvious who it was, and it turns out that I was correct, and I didn't see a lot of people guessing that. It is kind of the most likely person you would think would be a threat to the crime syndicate, but yeah, a lot of people didn't guess it. I guess they didn't read. I guess it's people did not read old Earth 3 Crime Syndicate comics because I thought it was I thought it was so obvious that it couldn't actually be that, but then Jeff Johns doesn't usually stray away from the obvious, but still good stuff, although there is a twist that I certainly did not see coming in terms of something new with that old character. But we'll see. Still been a lot of fun. Well, not fun. I guess supervillains running wild in the world is not fun. But an interesting story. We're finally getting in. I mean, we got 2 issues left. 1 issue left after this. So we're finally getting into the end game that will lead into whatever is
whatever they got going next. Sure.
Next up, we've got Green Lantern number 29. This is Robert Venditti. We're still continuing all of this stuff going on with the Durlans and with basically Hal wanting to restrict people from using their power rings because it might potentially destroy the universe. That's kind of a smart thing to do. Hal was trying to get St. Walker to return as the lone Blue Lantern. The Blue Lanterns were destroyed before. Saint Walker doesn't want to do it because he knows if he uses that ring, he runs the risk of destroying the universe. He doesn't like that idea. So this one looks like it's focusing on Saint Walker again. The title is Abandon All Hope. Hope, Blue Lanterns, good stuff. But yeah, this has been a great book. I've really, really enjoyed kind of the smaller scale of the Green Lantern books these days. No big, giant, sprawling crossovers. This is just good old-fashioned science fiction stuff.
I steal one of your picks.
Well, actually, I didn't realize that we both had it. So I was going to do Moon Knight too and say basically the same stuff. I actually like Moon Knight quite a bit. Going way, way back to the original incarnation. I tried the Bendis incarnation. It was all right. This is Warren Ellis and something very kind of unusual and a light week. So you combine those three things and
absolutely.
Give it a shot. Next up, Uncanny X-Men number 18. This is Brian Michael Bendis. This is Cyclops. Some interesting art by Marco Rudy there. A Cyclops-themed issue. I don't know exactly what's going on in this one.
I do like it.
It looks like we have, this is really nice stuff. I know he did that Spider-Man, Marvel Knights Spider-Man book.
Okay.
Really nice, detailed stuff, some wild layouts. But yeah, this looks like it's focusing on Cyclops. We've got a really kind of a weird cover there. But yeah, this has got some wild layouts here. Great artwork, and we know it's going to have great writing. But it looks like we've got some more Cyclops, and Cyclops talking with his younger self, which is, was kind of the whole point of them coming into the present. So We'll see where this leads. But good stuff. This has been a great book all along. Next up, Jupiter's Legacy number 4. As is the case with all Mark Millar books, I don't know what's going on because it's been a long time. But this is his superhero book, which is an Image Comics superhero book, despite what Eric Stevenson may say. They do publish superheroes. Invincible also. Did you forget that?
Apparently.
But this has been a really good book. I mean, it's a very kind of postmodern superhero stuff, and like a lot of the Mark Millar stuff, it's very kind of contained and very clearly crafted so that they can move it to other media. If they move it to other media, you're not going to get Frank Whiteley. And that's really a big selling point. His artwork is just fantastic in here. I really love the colors. I think a lot of the stuff that he's done lately, like All-Star Superman and some of that stuff, colored very brightly.
Yeah.
Whereas this is much more muted, much more...
The muted tones look better with his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when you've got these kind of very... Well, I guess with Superman, bright colors works fine. But with this, this is beautiful color, beautiful artwork. These are basically kind of a realistic... Some guys get powers... where we kind of left off was the guy who was like the Superman of the group, the leader of the heroes. Everybody turned on him because he wasn't letting them do enough in the world. They wanted to kind of reshape the world in their image. He didn't want them to, so they kind of took him out and brought his kid on board. So some interesting stuff. Really, I mean, this is not original. They've been kind of playing this ground for a while. This is stuff that Watchmen played with, definitely stuff that Squadron Supreme has played with many, many times. But this is Mark Millar's take on it, which means it's going to be a little bit nastier than anybody has seen before. So that's my stack.
All right, well, I guess that brings me to the top of my stack. This is part 5 in the last part of the first story arc of Drumheller. This was a really good issue. We're dealing with Drum with his werewolf thing. He kind of turned in the last one, so we're seeing him now as a werewolf. We're dealing with the woman who saw the ghosts of the dinosaurs in the mall and the bog monsters. We've got the immortal DJ, and it brings everything sort of to a nice little head, and you really understand Drum a little bit better, and you understand what's going on and what they're about, and I'm looking forward to a lot more stories. I think there's some really cool stuff. Again, Riley's artwork just looks top-notch in this book. Another thing that really had me kind of excited is the fact that we've got, let me make sure he's in there. There we go. We got a little appearance by John Prufrock from Proof in the background there. That's kind of fun. I like that Riley dropped him in the background in a couple of panels, so... Who knows? Maybe we'll get some more John Prufrock in upcoming issues. This book is cool, and you can tell that Riley. This book means a lot to Riley. Mm-hmm. You can tell. I mean, you don't really get stuff that's this good when someone's kind of half-assing it. There's a lot of passion in this, and you can see it. That's why the artwork has stepped up so well. Look at some of these pages. Phenomenal stuff. this is part of his story. He and Alex Link are doing the story, and Alex is writing the script. So
Cool.
just awesome stuff. Pick up Drumheller.
Cool. My top pick is Starlight #1 by Mark Miller and Gordon Parloff. I actually wasn't really sold on getting this. This is basically a sci-fi book. It is essentially Mark Miller doing his take on Flash Gordon, which is kind of cool. But I wasn't really sold on that as an idea until I saw a preview of this a couple of days ago. I'd seen the name Gordon Parloff, did not recognize it. Once I saw the artwork and realized this is the guy that did that Nick Fury series with Garth Ennis.
Oh, okay.
At Marvel, that Nick Fury War Gone By or whatever.
Yeah.
It was kind of very realistic. It was a Max book.
Yeah.
I love that guy's artwork. It's very kind
Good
of
stuff.
classic, old school. It fit that story they were telling, which was all set in the past, very kind of spy espionage. When I saw he was doing this, again, this is perfect artwork for kind of a throwback Flash Gordon type book. And when I saw the previews of it, I was sold. So
Awesome.
I don't know much about it beyond. I know that this is kind of like a Flash Gordon-esque thing, but this just
The
absolutely
artwork looks great.
fantastic artwork by Gordon Parloff. I don't know where this guy came from. I don't know if he's if he was an established European artist. First time I ever saw his stuff was on Fury Max, and it blew me away. This is really,
Cool.
really good classic stuff, and I can't think of anybody more suited.
That first
to
couple
kind of-
pages has a Mobius kind of
Yeah.
thing going.
Yeah, it's
like
got
with
a
the
very-
colors and the way they're working it.
It's a very European vibe, a very kind of classic sci-fi vibe, and if you're going to do a Flash Gordon book, I know they've tried Flash Gordon. Said Dynamite,
Right.
I think, has the license now, but they never had artwork this good. I mean, this is great stuff. So I mean, it's
The
a
thing with
mark.
Flash Gordon is if you don't also have Freddie Mercury singing, I'm not as interested.
I can just hear that in my head though.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same.
And whether or not this is going to really be kind of, I mean, it's Mark Miller, so again, there's going to be some misogyny or nastiness or something at some point, most likely, and it will also start shipping late some point after the second issue. I get it.
Right around the time it gets a movie deal.
Yeah. Well, no, that's when they'll just stop.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, so it's again a light week, coupled with an artist I've really found myself drawn to. I'll give it a shot. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even be on. Even if I was getting it, it wouldn't be the top pick without Gordon Parloff. Man, this guy is good. I mean,
Yeah.
something about his style, that loose. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's kind of Mobius, but also still like classic. It's got some.
Yeah.
The designs are it's just straight Flash Gordon, Alex Raymond. Like Alex Raymond and Mobius had a baby.
Yeah.
And that baby actually knows how to draw spy comics too really well. But he's doing a great job in science fiction stuff. We got a cover by John Cassidy. I know there's another cover on this too.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just on the artwork alone, this is my top pick because this guy is really good.
So yeah, kind of a light week for the most part this week, but a few #1s and some new stuff. So try some new stuff while you're out there as well. And that is your Week in Geek.